The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
I'm so excited for the season that's about to start, okay? Why? Because JT Miller's not here, and I started watching Netflix, and I'm starting to understand that, it's time to move on.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks here on Locked On Canucks here at the Don't Doze Art Lab, a show brought to you by FanDuel. Yes, FanDuel, a place where you can do what? You know, you place a $5 bet for the first time on FanDuel. You can win $300 in bonus bets if you do win your bet. Again, that's on FanDuel. And man, oh man, hockey's here. Okay, we got to get right into it. Hockey's here. People are, practicing. Training camp is not open yet, but hockey is here. Most of everyone is on the ice. Tom Willander on the ice doing cool things in practice. Yes, we're talking about practice, but nonetheless, Tom Willander, somebody that we will touch on in like 10 or 12 minutes, or maybe even earlier, considering we're talking about leadership, is bringing the juice. And honestly, he is giving a lot of reason to be excited. Okay, I know it's just practice, but the more and more I think about it, the more and more you consume, Tom Willander PR, and then you connect the dots, right? Him with Adam Foote, him with Manny Malhotra, him with Quinn Hughes. It's like, this guy could be special this year. Okay. But anyways, more Willander in the near future. Let's just get straight to the point. Okay, you're seeing the title, right? Netflix talking about the Vancouver Canucks. What are you talking about, Kyle? Stop being an idiot. Stop lying to me. But you know the deal, right? Kyle Bowen always paraphrasing because I didn't go to university, okay? Anyways, I watched that Dallas Cowboys 8-part docuseries on Netflix. I think it's 8 parts. Pretty cool stuff if you're a sports fan, okay? For real. That's the type of stuff I like to waste my time on, okay? Right? When I'm at the gym, when I'm in bed, when I'm ignoring my girlfriend and blocking her calls, because, I'm invested. It's in things like that, okay? Good cinematography in the world of sport. And, in the middle of what was going on in that documentary or that docuseries, Michael Irvin, right? Hall of Fame wide receiver, a polarizing player, the athleticism, the camaraderie, best teammate ever, best bro ever, one of the kings of Dallas, the scandals, right? Sex, drugs, all in all, a potential hit on him in court, right? A police officer trying to kill him. Well, all that. Michael Irvin, that guy said something that really stuck with me. And he said, football organizations don't win championships. Football families win championships, right? And Michael Irvin, 3 championships in the 90s with the Dallas Cowboys while working for Jerry Jones. That sounds like it's Mission Impossible, but he was a big part of it. And again, football families win championships, okay? Not football organizations. Let's spin that, okay? Hockey organizations don't win championships. Hockey families win championships. And if you think about it, and now I'm getting emotional, how can we not say that this team, and I know there's not a lot of success, not a lot of winning, a lot of parts from that second round 2024 playoff series against the Oilers, a lot of those people are gone, right? But you can make the argument that that dressing room is more of a family than they were last year, or maybe even at the time where they had that success, right? And that's because JT Miller's gone. And we kind of touched on this yesterday, but this is the training camp without that alpha, without JT versus Elias Pettersson, without that elephant in the room, without that ticking time bomb, without that aura. He's out of there. And you best believe, again, there's a chance of this, that team is closer because so. And yeah, some players love JT Miller. I get it. But, I guarantee, I'm paraphrasing just a bit, but Quinn included in all of this, he was a little ticked off. Not just at Elias Pettersson, but ticked off at JT Miller for not being a family man in that room, not holding it down. And I want to preface, again, the Dallas Cowboys, they went through it all, right? But they still, you could tell they were a close group no matter what. They were a family. The dinners, the parties, the camaraderie, right? Maybe there were such good brothers that they could hold each other accountable without destroying a relationship. True brotherhood, not fugazi brotherhood, okay? There's even glimpses of, again, Michael Irvin in court going through all this, and, this guy's, getting the support from all his teammates in court. Okay, the best ones, the core members, the leadership committee, right? Stating that this is a family. Yo, people breaking up with Elias Pettersson mid last season because, he's not in shape. It's a serious issue. Don't get me wrong, because we're talking about sports, but did the relationship have to get broken? In another world, in a stronger family, no. But again, that room was not a family. And this time around, I'm excited to see how this team gets closer. And I'm even more excited knowing that there's probably a good chance that no matter what, they are closer. And I know winning fixes everything, and they're not, playing real games, and they haven't won in September. And how could you say, Kyle, that they're closer than ever? Yo, I'm just saying there's a chance. There's a chance, and we could be seeing or hearing things, right? Trevor Beggs in the room now, right? Maybe we get a sense of, relief, a sense of freedom coming from the players. Oh, things are a bit lighter this year. And yeah, it's a fresh start, but maybe it's so noticeable right away that a big chunk of that leadership out of the leadership pie isn't being taken away from, from JT Miller. And yeah, he's a good leader, but not the perfect leader, right? Bitching and complaining about Mr. 11.6 not being able to hold somebody accountable while breaking him, right? Not the best leader. He's no longer in that room. What does that lead to? More and more eyes on Quinn Hughes, the only person a lot of these young guys should look up to. And, more time for a guy like, Garland, Marcus Pettersson, Crosby's favorite teammate. I'm paraphrasing just a bit. Other guys should just, fill up the leadership quota. All right. Another recipe to bring the team together. Again, they weren't a family. This workplace, right? Last year, they tried to fix it. They had meetings. But like most meetings in the world of meetings, it didn't equate to shit. And maybe they were saying the wrong things. Maybe, they weren't workshopping their theories, their philosophies, and they were just being too emotional and talking too much. And again, not getting to the nitty gritty and, handling a situation with the right amount of accountability and justice. Maybe that was the case when it comes to, how they deal with their meetings. Or maybe it was mission impossible all along because, again, Miller and Petey were never going to be family. And trust me, I know. I've watched a ton of these sports documentaries, okay? Thousands. I've ignored a lot of life because of these championship hour-long mementos that I just fall in love with, okay? Obviously not involving the Vancouver Canucks because they never win. But yo, I gotta get my hit. I gotta get a taste of glory somehow, some way, and I do so by indulging in this type of cinematography. Yeah, I know. Not everyone has to get along on a team, and a lot of good teams have different personalities and conflicts and whatnot. But they're able to keep it internal, resolve it efficiently, and if it's not resolved, they still get to work. AKA, they're a family, no matter what, through thick and thin. Let's keep it pushing. Last year, JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, that whole room, they just gave up. They knew the family was destroyed. They don't want to be a part of it. There was nothing fun about being a rich millionaire playing hockey in the Vancouver Canucks, because that's how toxic it was with those two, I've used the word divas, but let's just say it. They're just being bad teammates. I don't care what you say, okay? You got to keep the eye on the prize, the Stanley Cup. And when you're playing with Quinn Hughes, and that guy's dealing with, like, torn groin, a torn wrist or whatever it was, and still doing what he's doing, and your eye off the prize, yo, you're just being a bad teammate, okay? a horrible teammate. Those types of teammates don't win championships. Right? In other cases, when conflict happens, there's cases, again, you can get through it. But these two, just so emotional, too emotional, couldn't do it, hated each other, and it completely destroyed the room. It's like having a bad example because it's too personal. You know how it is, man. When your mom and dad are crying, or not crying, or fighting, just being weird, being quote unquote toxic. It just sucks the soul out of the room. What's the point? And it's the little details, right? The close bonds. I think it takes you over the top. And I feel as if this team, if they're going to have success this year, they got to be one of the tightest rooms in all of hockey. And, Quinn Hughes, read the article Ian McIntyre released yesterday. I mean, he alluded to it, right? This team's not the most skilled team. They got to be the hardest working. How do you become the hardest working team? It's obvious, right? You got to work hard for one another. And it was, again, obvious. Miller's not working hard for Pettersson. Pettersson's not working hard for Miller last year. And it just ruins the vibe. But anyways, to end off this part, again, we are closer than ever. One love to all the Canucks fans. Fresh start. It feels good. Again, good organizations or hockey organizations or NHL organizations don't win championships. Families do. Thank you, Michael Irvin. Let's talk more about this on the other side and how Tom Willander, yes, fresh start. Tom Willander, young blood, could be playing a lot more hockey games for the big club than you think. And because so, that improves our leadership. Okay, I want to touch on that because that guy's got, again, the kids use the word aura. What's the adult word for aura? Okay, the 32-and-a-half-year-old word for that. Can someone let me know that on the other side? Okay. We'll get back to all of this here on Locked On Canucks. But first, we got to, shout out a brother or a sister. Again, here on Locked On Canucks. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel, man, doing its thing. We told you earlier, right? Can't miss offer. NFL season around the corner. Boom, bam, kick a field goal. What I meant to say was do this, okay? If you're a new customer, place a $5 bet. You win that. You get $300 in bonus bets, all right? Make a parlay. Have some fun. Cowboys, Eagles tonight. Tomorrow, the Chiefs and the Chargers. Sunday, we got the Bills. We also got the Ravens, right? Dueling each other. We got the Lions and the Packers. Get in on the action. I mean, those are hard bets to make, but you never know. And if you're a new customer, again, you place that $5 bet, you get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Visit the FanDuel app today and place that $5 bet. Let's get back to the show. People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Man, oh man, hit the like button, share the episode. Trevor Baggs normally with us. Trevor Baggs, first day on the job, I guess, as a full-time reporter in Vancouver, doing his thing. He's a Vancouver boy now. A little too busy for us. Okay, I said it many times, Trevor. I said, don't forget your roots. Don't forget where you came from. Yeah, you're Mr. Big Time now. Mr. I got my dreams came true. Ha ha ha. Nada boo boo. I said, I know all that's happening for you, but don't forget where you're from and where is he today? Not here. So hit the like for Kyle Bound, okay? Also hit the like for Tom Willander, okay? Tom Willander practicing, was it at UBC today? A bunch of Canucks, again, training camp not officially open, but it's pretty much open. And I know, it's just practice. But Tom Willander, during some light scrimmages, I believe it might have been like 4-on-4 action. He scored a nice goal on Thatcher Demko. Okay, taking initiative, showing force. Still being a defenseman, but just being super, super, super athletic. Okay, can we just get that out of the way? I know he's got a lot to learn, and he's still young, and it may be mission impossible for him to, make an impact ASAP. But I don't know, based on what I see on film, and I'm not just talking about this practice today. It's hard for me not to believe that he's going to be one of the best athletes in hockey. He gets it. The way he's mobile it's It's not Quinn Hughes ass because Quinn Hughes is just what's a gazelle and a unicorn making love and on ice skates, okay? If you know what I'm trying to say. That's what Quinn Hughes is. Tom Willander is not that, but Tom Willander is still very, very, very elite at a lot of things. And, also elite with the puck at sometimes. And again, I don't know if he's going to get it ASAP, but something tells me he's going to get it by November. Like, he's going to get that call up. And he's, not looking back. And that this decor on paper, that right now has probably Myers and Pettersson. That's Marcus Pettersson as your second pairing based on the whole right-handed, left-handed thing. And, just experience in general. Is Mancini or DP getting top 4 minutes right away? Forbert, probably not. But man, oh man, when Tom Willander kicks down that door early on this season, I'm more than excited to see a healthy decor where Myers plays less down the lineup, helping out a guy like DP or Valentino Martini II or Forbert. I don't know, just playing less and being asked to do less. And I think that's how you get the most out of him. That's when our decor looks really, really deep. And then I'm really excited to see Tom Willander play with, Marcus Pettersson and that Swedish connection. And I'm excited. I'm super uber keen on witnessing what happens when Tom Willander just spends more time around, his twin, Quinn Hughes. And I don't say that lightly, but man, oh man, I hear both these guys talk. I feel the body language through the screen. There's a level of seriousness, okay? Not just cerebralness. I'm talking seriousness with those two guys. Tom Willander, you can tell this guy's all about business, all about work. The NHL is work. It's a passion. It's a dream. It's fun. But it's about getting better. It's about doing your job. It's about, getting better so you help your team win games. Like he seems to have that it factor. Speaking of which, that's a new type of leader we're getting into this room. And I know it's hard to, put that on Tom Willander, 20-year-old, right? You're going to be one of the leaders of this team. But, it's a young game. It's a young game. And if he can, bring a certain level of on-ice play right away, which would, again, be hard for him to do, right? Come in, be a top 4 defenseman right away, be efficient, be clean, keep the mistakes at a minimum, and just be an impact player. Like, that sounds like mission freaking impossible. I know. But, I'm saying there's a chance, and if that chance does come to fruition, he's going to immediately become a leader. Like, he seems like one of those first guys on, last guy off type of guys. Again, super serious. If you can match, all this talking with the walking on the ice, that room, that is, I'll say it openly. Like, I think they're so eager to have new faces. And this is on Elias Pettersson too, because again, I think he hid in the shadows of Quinn Hughes and JT Miller and didn't want to do any leading, to be honest. Okay, other than leading on the ice, which leads me to say this again. This organization is so desperate to have new faces in that room. Keep it light, but keep it serious. Keep them focused. Be militant. Be guys that show other players the way that, this is about work. This is about winning. And we win in practice. We win with what we're doing off the ice when it comes to our training and all this jazz, right? Because again, if Tom Willander excels in September and excels in October, that's going to show, this organization that's another guy that was probably working his ass off in the middle of May to prep for right now. Like, we need more guys like that. Again, Elias Pettersson, not one of those guys, clearly. Maybe he is now, but he wasn't in the past. Not that type of leader, right? Like, this team needs dogs, more dogs. And I'll give Miller that on the ice and his preparation. He's a dog. We don't have that anymore. And the story or it's not fully written about Elias Pettersson, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Based on what happened last year, I can't just say he has it this year in training camp. Okay, we already heard the organization again from sources indicating that they're expecting Elias Pettersson to have to wait a couple games to really flip the switch. Maybe they're not convinced that this guy had the most miraculous offseason, okay? But, if Tom Willander did, it's just another guy in that room who's an impact player who takes this ish so seriously. And again, just connecting Quinn and him together, whether they play together or not, I just feel as if it's so important for Canucks fans to realize that our chances are so much better at having one of Valentino Mancini, and DPD, Elias Pettersson, and Tom Willander, one of those guys for sure becoming a top 4 defenseman. Again, they're coached by Adam Foote. And that Dean dude, Kevin Dean, is that his name? Or who's the other guy? They're coached by Adam Foote and co. And their captain is Quinn Hughes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a D room that you want to learn from, that you want to be a part of. And again, Tom Willander, I just feel like there's a chance that he's a mainstay right away. He's a fan favorite, but he's also, I'll say it, a part of the core. This team needs it, right? It needs it. It needs new members of this core. And I wouldn't be surprised by like November, he's a part of the team. And like March, he's just a part of the leadership committee to some extent. I think he wants it. I think he's going to embrace it. And I'm just saying there's a chance. Okay. So one luck to pre-training camp scrimmages and Tom Willander. But I think we're onto something. And I think we're in good hands. You know, to take it away from Tom Willander just a bit, you know, talking about this decor more. I was driving to work today and I was, again, I'm emotional. I'm all over the place. Sometimes I do think about JT Miller, okay? Because sometimes I do think about having 2 number 1 centers in Quinn Hughes and Thatcher Demko, and that being the recipe to win a Stanley Cup. And that got taken away from me out of nowhere, okay? So I'm still dealing with it. That being said, you know, I hope and I pray, and, you know, I'm going to say it right now. I know that one day down the road, hopefully ASAP, when we look at all the transactions that have been made by Albin and Rutherford over the last 3 years, the fact that we got Marcus Pettersson, Philip Hronek, Philip Hedl, and who else did we get here? Well, why am I blanking out? Oh, Atu Ratu? Like, if it's Ratu, Hedl, Marcus Pettersson, Philip Hronek for Bo Horvat and JT Miller, I just feel like we're going to look back at that and be like, holy, that was ballsy, but it worked out. And obviously it worked out because that's a lot of depth. That's a lot of quality depth. If those guys, and we've seen it from Philip Hronek completely, Marcus Pettersson, I'm looking forward to him being our version of Chris Tanev. You know, based on what I saw last year too, I could see that. The jury's still out on Ratu and Hedl, but hey, let's just hope that they live up to their potential. And that's how the Canucks became a way deeper team. And, you know, having an elite blue line. Anyways, we'll get to your comments on the other side. You're listening to Locked On Canucks, watching Locked On Canucks. Hit the like button, share it with a friend. And, you know, as always, go Canucks, go. People. We got to give some love to our friends over at Monarch Money, man. I got to use Monarch Money, okay? I just, again, signed up for Netflix. Why? Because I wanted to watch some more sports cinema. And I don't know, I may regret it. Or I may just have to download Monarch Money so I can manage my finances. Look at all my subscriptions. See if I can do this. Maybe I'm spending, I already know I'm spending way too much on coffee. So again, download Monarch Money. I'm talking to myself now on my laptop and on my phone. And boom, bam, I got a personal accountant in my pocket. Straight up, because now I got the full picture of my finances. It's just the truth, okay? You want to, you know, manage your subscriptions or, you know, maximize your investments. You want to increase your saving rate. You get to see all these percentages and whatnot. It's kind of fun, okay? It's actually a beautiful thing. You download this app, and chances are you won't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. What's financial opportunity? Dude, it's Monarch Money, okay? Anyways, use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser to get half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at Monarch Money using code LOCKEDONNHL. Let's get back to the show. Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Canucks, talking about leadership for the 5th or 6th or 7th time again. NHL organizations don't win championships, families do. And the Canucks, closer and closer to being a family. based on all the changes and based off this being a completely new, fresh start, right? Like in March, when all those things are happening, late February, all those trades, again, a lot was on the table, a lot to play for. No time to really get to know each other completely or be around each other like this, okay? Post-summer, training camp, it's a different vibe and different people in that room. And one big alpha, maybe the worst family member of them all, okay? He's no longer there. And change must be coming, okay? Michael Irvin is telling me that. Anywho, let's read some comments here on Locked On Canucks. This one comes from Dan Jardine. Dan Jardine, man, starting some beef in the Discord, okay? Dan Jardine loving the Tom Willander practice clip, and Bardowski not loving it, okay? Practice, we're talking about practice. I understand where both are coming from. That all being said, Dan Jardine saying management is trying to protect PD from excessively high expectations, and he's saying that it's trashy. It's trashy that management is doing what they're doing. And again, Thomas Grants wrote an article yesterday talking about the forward depth on this team. Obviously, he wrote like 3 essays on Elias Pettersson. And, he talked about, the Canucks and the fandom. We were smoking that revenge tour energy that Pettersson gave us not that long ago, right? In early August. Some quotes came out. Revenge tour, let's go. That being said, the Canucks organization, from what he's hearing, they want to give Pettersson a couple games. They don't know if he can flip the switch in September. The guy wants his mojo back. He's got to prove it to himself in the actual hockey games, not against preseason opponents, but in October. And that's when Pettersson will find his groove. And to me, I don't like that. I don't want Pettersson to find his groove in October. I'm sorry. Well, I do, but I don't. I want him to find his groove right now in September. Again, a younger team. Guys, even outside of the youth, outside of Mancini and DPD and Tom Willander, like Atu Ratu and Filipino, they need Petey to step it up in September. Set the tone. Be a leader. Take the pressure off of them, too. That is Pettersson's job. And I want to see that in September, man. That's just me. Okay? Anyways, next comment. Trashy saying, what's the Drance report? Oh, now I get what Dan is doing. He's responded to Trashy's comment about what's with Drance's report that the Canucks don't expect PD to be ready to go game 1. No, he'll be healthy. They just don't know if he's going to be an alien. Go read Drance's article, okay? I just mentioned it. It's actually a really, really good piece. Not surprised. Shout out to Thomas Drance. Next comment. This one comes from Sensei. Why did I call him Sensei? Okay, Sensei saying we should see what we have instead of trading picks away, especially at the next upcoming draft, because the class is so highly touted. And as for Hughes, high contracts are hard to live up to. I guess there's some discourse in the comments right now about Hughes' next contract being 8 years at $15+ million. Okay. And that's got to be the case because isn't Kaprizov signing that very, very soon? Probably. But to answer the first part, I'm kind of with you, man. Like, again, I'm here boasting about family and this year being different and there's love in the air. And, we got to take that into a matter of fact and, expect that things will be different. That being said, if things do fall off real quick here, yeah, it'd be a beautiful thing if the Canucks had all their draft picks, right? Like, what if in August they traded for Marco Rossi and they traded a first-round pick in next year's draft or whatever it was, and they just still sucked. Like, Pettersson was not good, and they just the whole thing just shit the bed. Because that could happen. We're the Vancouver Canucks, historically speaking, one of the worst teams in hockey over the last 10 to 12 years. Anyways, Quinn Hughes potentially signing a big deal. Is that going to be hard for him because it's hard to live up to that high contract? Not for Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is, you don't give me that. Like, Quinn Hughes is, quite honestly, the type of guy that you can never doubt. Like, he's got that Mahomes energy to him. He's going to do whatever it takes to win. You pay him more because that's just what he's worth. You also pay him more because, again, he's tough as nails. I'm going to play through a torn groin or whatever it was, a groin injury. No, was it like a hip or something? I don't know what it was. I'm going to play through like a something torn in my wrist to try to finish 8th place. Like, this guy is putting his body on the line. He's worth the money. And even when he's like at 67%, he's still in the 1% of best players, and not even the 1%, in the 0.5% of the best players in hockey, amongst all the players in hockey. He's just so damn elite, and he's worth all that money. And I'll even say this, like, there's some, again, join the Discord. There's some discourse about Kaprizov, again, link in bio, to all that. And yeah, Minnesota hasn't won a lot yet. I mean, they're a playoff team pretty much year in and year out, but again, not a lot of quote unquote real success. And now they're going to lock up Kaprizov for that much money. Is he that good? You know how there's like some people out here that in the hockey world that don't watch a lot of Quinn Hughes, right? And that's why it's so impossible for them to even put Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar in the same planet, even though they are like literally the only 2 defensemen that could do what they're doing. Like, again, it's a beautiful thing that Quinn Hughes, like, I didn't know this was possible, would be as good as Cale Makar. I don't even care if he's better. Just be as good as him, and we are so completely blessed. On that note, though, again, a lot of people still don't watch Quinn Hughes play. Plays on a bad team in the Pacific. People are sleeping. Boom, bam. I know a lot of us do not watch a lot of Kirill Kaprizov games. I just know it. We've seen the highlights. Again, when he plays the Canucks, I think there was a game last year where he just dominated the Canucks. Such a treat to watch. All in all, though, Kaprizov is worth $15 million as a winger. Like, what he's done in the league right away, adjusting that easily ASAP, and then living up to like being one of the first players to sign a contract that big, right? His first contract when he had like 50 or 60 games played, or maybe like 30 games played. He signed a massive one, and right away the pundits are out. But what did he do? He did way more than what he signed for. To some extent, he's just such a dominating player. Like, I don't even know who I would compare him to. Man, I don't know. Sometimes I watch him play. This a crazy one. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching Evgeny Malkin. Sometimes. The guy's so good. Like, sometimes I see Pavel Datsyuk too. Like, offensively, this guy's just an absolute dynamo and such a smart player, such an efficient player. All in all, though, Kaprizov is going to be worth that money, and Quinn Hughes is worth anything too. And just to see Kaprizov potentially, and this has been rumored, like ASAP, he's going to do it. 8 years at $15 million per year to stay in the state of hockey, to not go to New York, to not go to a contender, to just continue to build in Minnesota and play for a hockey crazy city. Like, the fact that he's willing to sign that extension again before the new CBA kicks into and take advantage of signing an 8-year deal, making an extra $30 million guaranteed, boom, bam, do all that. The fact that Kaprizov is doing that, it's good for Canucks fans, because I don't know, maybe maybe if the Canucks don't make the second round of the playoffs this year, we just make the playoffs, we just squeak in, we make the first round. Maybe that's just enough, right? For Quinn Hughes to just want to run it back for another 8. I don't know, to guarantee himself 8 years at $15 million. Because I've said this before. I said it earlier this week. As long as you have that guy on your team, and I don't know if I can say the same about Kaprizov because he's a winger. There is a little bit of a difference. Like, you still pay him that much, but I don't know if I can make this statement about Kaprizov, okay? Again, I don't watch all the games. But because Quinn Hughes is a defenseman, like a number 1 defenseman as well, the fact that you just have him on your team always leaves the window open. He gives me like miracle worker vibes. Like, he's got the work ethic, he's got the leadership. Like, he's the example, especially with like Tom Willander and Elias Pettersson in the fold too in the back end. Like, you could build something extremely special. Like, is it Scott Stevens, Scott Niedermayer, Brian Rafalski? Maybe. Right? And again, that's due in large part to Quinn Hughes being around for a long time and setting the example. That's a guy that always wants to get better year in and year out, training in a hyperbolic time chamber in Michigan with his brothers. The guy's just a unit, a unicorn, somebody that is so special to the world of hockey. And you do whatever it takes to sign him and keep him in Vancouver. What a player. And man, oh man, what an episode, man. We did it, man. We compared the Dallas Cowboys to the Vancouver Canucks. That is something. I mean, we could have done something else. We could have done, it's Evander Kane, the missing piece, right? Is he the next Andrei Kuzmenko? But we didn't. Why? Because my name's Kyle Bowen, and I approve of this message. Hit the like button. Thanks to everyone watching this and listening to this. We really do appreciate it. You're letting us live the dream. Speaking of the dream, again, Trevor Baggs couldn't join us because he's working his day job. Rob Williams got this guy sweating already. Maybe regretting his decision. All jokes aside, one love to Trevor. Congratulations once again. And one love to Locked On, one love to the Don't Doze Art Lab for giving us the place to give you the West Coast bias. That's, again, the Don't Doze Art Lab. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night. If you're not watching this live, we do not know when you're watching or listening to this, but again, we appreciate it. And as always, go Canucks, go.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.